Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 10 AWS services that every engineer, sysadmin, and developer must know in 2026. Most tutorials overwhelm you with hundreds of services, but I have seen this lead to paralysis. Most teams only use a fraction of the catalog, and understanding these 10 will make you more effective than someone who knows a little bit about everything. And you know why this matters? Because when you are in the middle of an infrastructure migration or a production outage, you do not need to be a generalist. You need to be an expert in the tools that actually keep the lights on. Let us dive into the core AWS stack. We are going to categorize these by function, covering compute, storage, networking, and security, because that is how you actually build production-ready environments. Specifically, that includes the workhorses of compute, the foundational storage layers, the networking backbone, and the critical security services. These are the topics we are going to cover in this video, so do not skip ahead. Watch all the way through to actually understand this properly. Quick note, before we dive in, this channel shares practical IT tutorials every week, so if that is useful to you, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more resources. Let us start with compute. In the modern cloud, you are almost always choosing between three distinct execution models. We will talk about virtual machines, serverless functions, and container clusters. So what is EC2 really? It is the foundation of AWS. Think of it like renting a physical server, but with the ability to resize it in seconds. You get full root access, which is great for custom kernel tuning or specific legacy dependencies. If you are a DevOps engineer, you will spend a lot of time managing EC2 instances in auto-scaling groups to handle fluctuating traffic. Now, why would you choose Lambda over EC2? Because managing servers is expensive and time-consuming. With Lambda, you write your logic in Python or Node.js, and AWS executes it in response to events like an S3 upload or an API request. It is the ultimate tool for event-driven architectures where you do not want to manage a server fleet. If your application is made of 20 microservices, EC2 is a headache, and Lambda might have cold start issues. EKS is the answer. It is managed, Kubernetes. You define your services in YAML, and EKS ensures they stay running, scale out, and talk to each other. It is the industry standard for containerized production workloads in 2026. Once your code is running, it needs to store data. In AWS, you have three primary categories: block storage for your OS disks, object storage for your files, and relational databases for your application data. S3 is arguably the most important service in AWS. It is practically infinite, highly durable, and very cheap. You use it for everything from hosting your front-end assets to storing your Terraform state files. If you're building a data lake, S3 is your home base. Never store your application configuration in S3, though use a dedicated secret manager for that. EBS is the storage that backs your EC2 instances. If you're running a database on an EC2 instance, you need EBS volumes. They are fast, low latency, and can be snapshotted easily for backups. The key here is that EBS is tied to a specific availability zone, which you need to account for when planning your disaster recovery. For your transactional data, you need RDS. Do not host your own database on EC2 unless you have a very specific reason. RDS handles the heavy lifting of database administration. It automatically patches the OS, handles multi-AZ failovers, and provides point-in-time recovery. It is a massive time saver for any team. Networking is where most junior engineers get stuck. AWS networking isn't about physical cables, it's about software, defined boundaries, and traffic routing. Think of a VPC as your own data center network, but in software. You define your IP range, your public and private subnets, and how your traffic flows. If you don't configure your VPC correctly, your resources are either inaccessible or completely exposed to the internet. It is the first thing you must learn. Route 53 is more than just a DNS provider. It performs health checks on your endpoints, routes traffic based on latency, and handles your domain registration. If your DNS is slow, your users think your site is down. Route 53 ensures that never happens. Finally, we have the oversight layer. Every production system requires ironclad access control and deep visibility into logs and metrics. If you skip these, you are just waiting for a breach or an outage. IAM is the most critical security service you have. It is how you ensure that your developer has access to the staging environment, but not the production database. You must use roles for your applications, not long-lived access keys. If you see hard-coded credentials in code, that is an IAM failure. When something breaks at 3 a.m., CloudWatch is the first place you look. It tracks your CPU usage, your error rates, and your application logs. You can set alarms to page you when thresholds are breached. Without it, you are flying blind. This is a real-world IAM policy. Notice we are not using wildcards like star for all actions. We specifically allow only get object on one bucket. This is what we call least privilege. It ensures that if this role is compromised, the attacker can only read files from that specific bucket and nothing else. What are the common mistakes? First, never hard-code your credentials. Use IAM roles. Second, stop hosting your own databases on EC2 unless you have a dedicated DBA team. Third, check your S3 bucket policies regularly. Leaving a bucket open to the public is the fastest way to leak sensitive customer data. So which one should you start with? Start with IAM and VPC. Everything in AWS lives inside a VPC and is governed by IAM. If you get those wrong, the rest of your architecture will never be secure. Once you have a private network and a secure user role, start playing with EC2 and S3. That is the path to a solid cloud foundation. Let us talk about a real scenario. An e-commerce platform was struggling with scaling during flash sales. They had their web servers on fixed EC2 instances that would crash under load. By moving their application layer to EKS and using RDS for their database, they were able to auto-scale their front end during the sale and keep the database stable. The impact was a 94% reduction in failed requests during peak hours. Here is the quick recap. We covered EC2 for compute, Lambda for serverless, and EKS for containers. We looked at S3 for objects, EBS for blocks, and RDS for relational data. We covered VPC and Route 53 for networking and finished with IAM and CloudWatch for security and monitoring. If you master these 10, you have the skills to build and manage almost any production system on AWS. If this deep dive helped you clear the noise, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more production-ready tutorials every week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.